What I want to do is just provide you with some introductory or foundational information about health and wellness. And during each week, there are some thoughts or some questions that I do want you to continually reflect on. For you personally, what does health and wellness mean? Are these some terms that can be used interchangeably, or do you think they're completely different from one another? Also, what determines your state of health and well-being? Again, this is for you personally because it will differ from person to person. It will also differ probably from time period to time period, and we'll talk more about that later. How do you measure how healthy you actually are? By what standards are you comparing yourself to? Are you looking at people around you and then thinking to yourself, well, I'm healthier than that person? Or do you determine how healthy you are because you feel okay? You're not sick, you're not ill, so in that case, you think you're pretty healthy. How do you practice being healthy and well? What specific things are you doing that demonstrate you are consistently and actively aware of all the things that contribute to your health benefits as well as those things that put you at risk? And what do you know about wellness that you're not actually practicing? Sometimes it could be knowing that you need to exercise, but not being able to make time to do it. At least that's the excuse most people use. It could also be avoiding certain foods, but because they taste so good, because they're so easily available, it's difficult to do that. So as we go through the class, think about these things and what areas, if any, that you may need to change or reflect on and modify in your life. And also as we go through the course and you complete your required readings, you're going to come across some terms that I want to clarify for you, because these are some terms that are often used synonymously, but each does have a particular meaning. So when you hear, and you probably have done this already, read or heard the word sound, coming across that, it basically means, or you may have heard something like being of sound mind and sound body. It basically means that you don't have any illnesses, you're not injured, you don't have a disease. It doesn't always mean that you're not well, though. You may also read about well-being. We say this a lot. It's another term that's used in a general way because it does have a very general definition. Being well or well-being is that you're in good health, you're in a good mood, you're happy, your current state, mentally and physically, is basically what's considered good. And we always run into problems trying to define that word good, but that's basically what well-being is. And when you experience balance in your life, you're said to have some emotional stability. Depending upon the context in which this is used, balance can refer to focusing on all the dimensions of wellness and giving each one the attention it needs for you personally. Also, it could primarily be used to focus on your mental or emotional state, the absence of any mental or emotional disorder. And being fulfilled or experiencing a fulfilling life means you feel as if you have achieved something, you've accomplished or completed a goal or task related to your life. So keep these terms in mind as you continue your readings throughout the course. They hopefully will be helpful. Now, when discussing the dimensions of wellness as they refer to your overall health and wellness, what we are also discussing is stewardship of the body. And this aligns itself with the spiritual dimension, and I hope to clarify this for you soon. So what does stewardship of your body actually mean? Well, you need to know what a steward is in trying to define this. And when you are a steward of something, it means that you've been given the responsibility to take care of something that doesn't belong to you. For example, if I had an expensive watch, something you really couldn't afford, let's say a diamond encrusted Rolex, or a Roly as they call it, and I let you wear it for a while, I am entrusting you with the care and management of that expensive watch. And being a good steward means that you are going to ensure that that watch is going to be maintained in good working condition, in the same condition in which you received it. You're going to protect that watch. You're going to make sure it doesn't get scratched or lost. You're going to nurture that watch. You're going to keep it clean. You're going to wear it periodically and take precautions against any possible problems. And you're going to use that watch only for its intended purposes and to get it back to me so I can trust you again for the care and maintenance of it. If something does go wrong with that watch, you are going to do whatever you can to restore it to its natural working condition. How much more important is our body, our overall health? We have been entrusted to care for our body, to maintain it, to protect it, to nurture it, develop it so it consistently and continually works at its best. But if being a steward means that we're entrusted with the care of something that doesn't belong to us, it means we don't belong to ourselves. So who do we belong to? 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20 says, "Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own." Okay. For you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. We're given the responsibility to care and manage these bodies that we have. And this means physically, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, all of the different dimensions of wellness in those areas we need to focus on and consistently maintain so that we are functioning at our best, not only for ourselves, but so that we can benefit others as well. Now, earlier I asked the question, what do the terms health and wellness mean? And depending upon who you ask this question, you're likely to get different responses. And here are a few examples of how health and wellness are defined. Now, I like the Arizona State University's definition, as this is because, well, first of all, ASU is a research institution and it focuses on health and wellness, but they identify wellness as an active, lifelong process. Wellness is ongoing. It never ceases. It requires a lot of personal responsibility and making wise decisions that contribute to improvements and benefits of life. So it's important that we understand, I'm kind of giving you the answer to that first question, there really are two separate things. Now, Harper, the author of one of our books, separate these terms and define them differently. Wellness includes physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, and health is a condition. It's more than just being a disease or sickness-free. So how do you personally define these things? Think about the experiences or circumstances that contribute to your definition and approach towards health and wellness. We're all a product of previous teaching and previous experiences, and these things will have a huge impact on our individual beliefs and philosophies. If health and wellness were not issues to address and we haven't experienced any severe concerns, we're not likely to give these terms much thought until we actually need to do so. And it makes sense to see where all of this comes from anyway. When did health and wellness become a hot topic? Well, how much more important is our body, our overall health? Dr. Halbert Dunn was the first one to use this term wellness, and this was back in 1961. He published a book titled High Levels of Wellness, which included a compilation of lectures that he presented on issues related to health and wellness, and he defines wellness as an integrated method of functioning which is oriented towards maximizing the potential of which the individual is capable. It requires that the individual maintain a continuum of balance and purposeful direction within the environment where he or she is functioning. Now, there's a lot going on in this definition. It clearly states that wellness is a process. It changes. It's based on situations and experiences, and it's not limited, as it depends on our individual potential. And it depends on the environment in which we're functioning. So it's not something you achieve and then are just done with. You need to continually work towards improving and maximizing your own health and wellness. So let's take a quick assessment. I'm going to give you a list of some things, and I want you to place these in order of what you think is most important, from most important to least important. So take a moment, you can pause the video and then take a look at the list, rank the list in order of importance, and I'll give you a second. Now, hopefully you've recorded these items and you've rated them from the ones that you think are most important to what's least important. So just take a look at your list. Now, reflect on your own personal habits and behaviors and take another look at your list. Is it reflective of what you actually do? If you feel, for example, family and social time was one of the high important areas on your list initially, think about how much time you actually spend with family and friends and doing social activities. Some people will say, for example, that spirituality is important, but then they realize they don't spend a lot of time in spiritually related activities. And the idea is to see if what we think is important, and if we're reflecting on the things that we think are important, we should be actually doing those things. So is this a reflection of our actual lifestyle? If not, there are some things that we may need to evaluate and change. Now, research has identified some commonalities with individuals who demonstrate wellness, and these are called 8 points of high-level wellness, and include the ability to face inconsistencies in our thinking. And sometimes it's difficult to realize that our actions are not always aligned with our beliefs, and that there are flaws with our way of thinking. Those who demonstrate a high level of wellness are able to recognize these flaws and then consider other points of view. Also, to hear and examine the viewpoints of others with an open mind. And along the same lines as the first point, having an open mind and considering others and other sources of information is important. It's the difference between open-mindedness and closed-mindedness. Also, to encourage freedom of expression of those around us, allowing others to feel comfortable and to feel, that they can share their thoughts without criticisms or ridicule. Also, to adjust our own views. When we hear, read, or experience something that's in conflict with what we originally believed, It's a demonstration of wellness to investigate, to recognize and weigh all the factors involved, and then, if needed, adjust our own views and our own way of thinking that makes sense. Number 5 is to make time for unhurried contacts with others. We know life is busy. We can all make a list of things that we need to do and get done, and there's not enough time in the day to do all those things. But when you're able to give your undivided attention to someone who needs it, it provides a sense of gratification. It demonstrates a sense of thankfulness, selflessness, knowing that you can assist someone else. Number 6 is the determination to give credit and recognition to others when it's due, and not always being in the limelight, not needing to have that continuous confirmation that you've accomplished something, that you're being recognized. It also refers to selflessness. Although these are some of the things that we as humans desire, it's important that we are able to give credit to others. Number 7 is the determination to serve others as the opportunities arise. And similar to point 5, this includes the willingness and deliberate effort to seek opportunities to serve others. Give freedom to those we love. Recognizing that we all have freedoms and feeling open and free to express our freedom is important. So extending that same feeling to others demonstrates wellness. Being able to demonstrate a high level of wellness includes all of these, and note that they don't specifically refer to physical health or nutrition or things like that we typically associate wellness with. In addition to the 8 points of wellness, there are some other qualities that individuals who demonstrate wellness possess, and this works both ways. If you possess these qualities, then you also experience the benefits of being healthy and well. If you practice them, you're going to experience those benefits also. We want to give them and we want to receive them. And you can improve your overall health and wellness by working towards incorporating these qualities in your lifestyle. Trying to have a high self-esteem, a good positive outlook, being optimistic, a strong personal responsibility, accepting responsibility for your actions, a good sense of humor. You ever been around somebody who's kind of a stick in the mud? They don't seem to want to laugh and don't understand good humor, good positive humor. They're not that great to be around. So that's a sign of being healthy and well. Showing a concern of others, freedom of risky behaviors, coping with problems. And we'll talk a lot about coping mechanisms and dealing with stress, which is probably a key factor in not having all of these things. Stress management, good physical condition, and the ability to empathize. So all of these are extremely important to our overall lifestyle. To address our overall health and wellness, we need to give attention to all the different dimensions, or the concepts as we call them in this class. Depending upon where you research or investigate the concepts of wellness, you may find 5 to 8 different dimensions, but there are 5 core dimensions which include physical, spiritual, social, emotional, and intellectual domains. Others that are sometimes included are occupational, environmental, and even financial. And all are said to contribute to your quality of life, your outlook, your state of mind, and your overall well-being. We'll reflect on these within this course, and you'll be challenged to investigate each of these areas as they relate to you, your overall wellness, and hopefully recognize areas that need improvement and work towards maintaining those areas in which you're strong. So there's a heavy emphasis on personal responsibility within this course. You do have total control over the 5 core dimensions of wellness in your life, and all of these will contribute to your personal wellness and satisfaction of life. Now, even if you're not feeling well, maybe experiencing a cold or a flu, or have some aches, pains, even if you have a debilitating condition, you can still experience wellness. Remember, it's based on your potential, what you're capable of doing based on your state. There are some things that will affect your ability to demonstrate wellness, like getting older. You may hear it all the time. There'll be things that you can't do when you reach a certain age. You don't stay young forever. You're not always fit. You're not always emotionally stable and sane all the time. Age, genetics, personal experiences, your environment, all of these things are going to affect your ability to demonstrate and maintain wellness. But it's important that we recognize that and we do all that we can with the time that we have to at least maintain some sense of balance and understanding and continuum in those positive areas. So be responsible, be accountable for your health and wellness, your attitude, your behavior, your relationships. Reflect on how addressing the dimensions of wellness can be beneficial to you. That's what this course is really all about. And these are just a few things that you can experience by demonstrating positive health and wellness habits. And who doesn't want these? Hopefully through this class, you'll have a sense of personal responsibility in these areas. You'll give yourself a personal assessment. You'll reflect on all the different dimensions of wellness, and then you'll make any necessary changes that will continue to contribute to your overall improved quality of life. Glad that you're in the class. Be sure you contact me if you have any questions or any concerns. Take care for now.